Hi there, Josh here. Welcome to Frames Per Second. Today we are shooting some Cinestill 800T. I have not shot this film in quite some time, and I thought it was about time I did. Could potentially be pushing it, we'll see. We're going to be shooting this at night around Melbourne, and yeah, we'll see what we get. But anyway, let's go. Here we are in Melbourne, and so this is from my trip last year. I did do a recent trip which I haven't got the film developed yet, but we'll get to that later. But this was from July 2022, and here I am with my friend Summer, who was there for a few days but not the whole time I was there. This trip I didn't shoot as much. We did go around for a bit. I feel like, just like particularly with this role, it was less like exploring and taking photos and more just us doing stuff and me taking photos as we're doing stuff. It's not really a role that has like frames that I love, but yeah, there's not any particular great shot on this role, but I think that's kind of like an important thing to see, because not every role you shoot will have an amazing photo. And yeah, we tried to look for a hat that my friend was kind of looking for, but we didn't find this hat shop. But I will say I'd never been into this hat shop that I've taken heaps of photos outside of, so thought might as well go have a look. Sometimes a lot of roles are just you learning, or learning from your mistakes. And I will say with this role, I definitely had the shutter speed a bit slower than I probably should have, because there's a decent amount of motion blur and shots not really looking sharp. And there's also just some shots that I just did not get in focus properly, but that's another thing. I was using my f2 35mm lens or my Pentax K1000, but really I should have just not been lazy and brought my 1.4 50mm lens with me, but I left it at the B&B we were staying at. But yeah, if I'd brought that, I could have had the shutter speed a bit faster and got sharper shots because of that. But yeah, there was also some frames that aren't even properly composed or in focus, and part of that is because my camera started having an issue where like every now and then the mirror would stay up, so then you couldn't really see through the viewfinder. It would just be black, so you kind of had to guess focus or take a photo and then you use the shutter release lever, and then the mirror would go back down, but then you like waste a frame or two. And so that kind of started happening on this trip. Good thing was that it would go away after like 1 or 2 shots, so I could at least still use this camera on my trip. There are a few shots that did get wasted. But yeah, sorry about the delay with this video. I was hoping to have it up last week, and I really should have had it up the week before if I was trying to do the 3 weeks gap that I was planning to do this year. But yeah, it hasn't really happened that way. Though I might try to do a next video in 2 weeks time, but we'll see how we go. But one cool thing was I did come across this little like block party in Fitzroy, and this community had kind of got together, and they do this like every month and just have a little gathering where they each bring a thing of food and kind of just hang out. And I really admire this kind of community. It's not really something I get and where I live at the moment, just because it is like more suburban, and yeah, there's a bigger distance between properties, and so while there's more privacy, I find that there's less community. And this is something that I really like about Melbourne, is aside from all this, there just seems to be more events, like really local events, like local to your suburb, that people just go to and like meet up and talk and get to know each other. And like, I know obviously this isn't like something that happens all the time and isn't something completely unique to this city, but there's definitely like something that I've noticed, is just a stronger sense of community in Melbourne than in Brisbane where I live. But that could also be when I travel, I am more involved and I do look for things more, while when I'm at home I'm usually busy editing or writing, so I'm not really going out as much, and I'm usually trying to save money as well. But yeah, there will be more stuff from that little block party, and yeah, I did have a nice time just talking to the people, and yeah. Now, I don't know what this is, if it's a restaurant or like a casino or something, but this dragon sculpture was awesome. And I don't know if you can see it that well on your screen, but yeah, I do kind of want to find out what that place is next time I go. There was a long line, so I wasn't going to get in line for that. But then I made my way over to the Queen Victoria markets because they were having a little winter market at night. And I was at the end of the roll at this point, but there will be another episode with a full roll I took at this market and all the cool stuff they had going around. There's a lot of good food too. And yeah, I like I said, this isn't exactly a roll that I'm proud of, but there are some decent shots in here. I also didn't get to shoot Cinestill in Melbourne when I went in 2019, and so it was like nice getting to shoot a roll of that here. Though I probably would have preferred to have used it on a different night. I think I should have just had Portrait 800 for this this time, and then use the Cinestill as a roll after this. But yeah, I wasn't really sure how many photos I'd take. Also, this roll I ended up shooting over 2 days, while my previous trip I was basically shooting a different color roll a day, a different black and white roll a day, but it was different this trip. Hope you liked the videos. Please let me know your thoughts on the film, the images, cameras, and the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe to this, post notifications sooner when there's a new episode. Anyway, I'm Josh. This has been Frames Per Second. Get out there, shoot some film.